Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I've come to Manchester to visit the Art Gallery. It's a fine building and I've come to see the Pre-Raphaelite paintings. The Pre-Raphaelites were a group of Victorian painters and they specialised in creating bright, dramatic paintings that were almost like jewels. Their colours were so sharp. They had a technique of layering the pigment onto the canvas. As Valentine's Day is approaching, I thought I would share with you 4 paintings that depict different versions of love. The details of the paintings will be in the description box. These paintings are in the permanent exhibition. There were so many to choose from, it was really difficult, but I've picked out 4. The first painting is called Early Lovers by Frederick Smallfield. It's illustrating a ballad by Thomas Hood about young lovers. 'Twas twilight and I bade you go, but still you held me fast. It was the time of roses, we plucked them as we passed. So in the next painting, we see Unrequited Love. The painting's called Byron's Dream by Ford Maddox Brown, and Lord Byron, the poet, is sitting there with his love, but she is more interested in the approach of the rider in the distance. This painting is called The Hireling Shepherd. It's by William Holman Hunt. It was considered shocking when it was first exhibited. It's the flushed colour on their faces and the stare of the woman out from the canvas. The shepherd is so obsessed with his love, he's ignoring his sheep. They've strayed into the cornfields, eaten the corn, which has made them bloated and sick. The shepherd is showing the girl a death's head hawk moth. Maybe this is an unlucky omen, indicating that their love will not last. The final painting shows tragic love. It's called The Last Watch of Hero. It's in 2 parts. The main part by Lord Frederic Leighton shows Hero, the young priestess, dressed in her flowing robes, and she's standing staring anxiously out from her tower. She is looking for her lover Leander, who is swimming to her from a rival city. He's swimming at night and the sea is treacherous, filled with rocks. Leander is guided by a light that Hero has set out, but the wind has blown the light out and Leander has drowned. So below the main painting, you see Leander's drowned body. So those were our 4 paintings showing the different forms of love. So thank you for watching this first part of my video. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it interesting. See you in the next part. So in this part of the video, I want to talk about a short story by Anton Chekhov called The Lady with the Lapdog. I'll just tell you what the story is about and then I'll explain why it's such a wonderful story. So it's set in 1899 and there's a man called Dmitry Gurov. He lives in Moscow. He's very successful. He's married. He has children and he's unhappy with his wife. And he's constantly unfaithful to her. He feels that he has this entitlement. He can use women. He refers to them as the lower breed. At the beginning of the story, he's in a seaside resort called Yalta, and there he makes the acquaintance of a young woman, Anna Sergeyevna, who he refers to as the lady with the lapdog. And he seduces her and they begin an affair. Anna Sergeyevna's husband is in a small town near St. Petersburg. The husband writes to Anna, Anna returns home, and the affair ends. So Dmitry Gurov goes back to Moscow thinking it's a good thing, that it's just another affair and it's ended the same as the others and he can get on with his life. He describes the rounds of the banquets, there's gluttony, there's playing cards, there's social life that he has. But all this he now feels is quite empty. And he describes his existence as a prisoner in a chain gang. He feels that it's meaningless to him now. He's constantly thinking about Anna Sergeyevna. He's dreaming about her, yearning for her. For the first time in his life, he has these romantic feelings. So he goes to St. Petersburg, reconnects with her. And then at the end of the story, we learn that they've resumed their affair. So Anna Sergeyevna comes to Moscow every 2 or 3 months. They get a hotel room and they spend some time together. So at the end of the story, that's where it's left. They are having this affair and they're both unhappy in their public lives. They feel as if the lives that they lead in front of society are false and their real lives and them actually being true to themselves is when they're together. They feel as if they are husband and wife, they are best friends and soulmates. And the story ends with him comforting her and saying that soon this will be over and they'll be together properly. Now, why is it such a good read? Why do I recommend it? First of all, the language. The language is deliberately understated, so Chekhov chooses his words with care. So in one sentence, he can give you a description that another author would use a whole paragraph or a page. So I'll just give you an example. This is where, right at the beginning of the story, it's describing Dmitry Gurov's wife. She was a tall, black-browed woman, erect, dignified, austere. As she liked to describe herself, a thinking person. She was a great reader. So immediately we get this idea of how dour and stern she is in this one sentence. The second reason why I think it's a really wonderful writing is because it's about ordinary people. So Chekhov wrote about the lives of ordinary people, sometimes their ridiculous foibles and their problems and what happened to them. So we're not reading about historical characters or great characters. We're reading about people like you and I. And this makes it feel as if it could happen today. The story could be about people that we know now. So that gives it a modern feel. Also, there's no moralizing. Chekhov does not put his opinion into the story. So if you are romantic, you will read this as a love story. Otherwise, you might think this is two people who are not very likable at the beginning. Gurov is... He's deceiving his wife, he deceives women, he's actually deceiving himself. So he is this character who's not very likable. And at the end, we may have some sympathies for him, that he's old, he's grey, and he realises that what he actually wants in his life is a romantic emotional attachment. He feels that to be loved is what is important to him and not everything else that he has. So we have sympathy for him. So we, the reader, make up our own minds. The story is laid out for us and there is no judgment from Chekhov. He does not try to influence us. Also, there is a kind of non-ending. So there isn't this dramatic finale or a false happily ever after just to satisfy the reader. There's this non-ending where I just think, well, divorce would have been impossible. They wouldn't have been together. They are unhappy now as they were before the affair. And that rings true. This is the kind of thing that does happen in real life. There isn't dramatic conclusions or Cinderella endings. It's true to real life. Also, I read that this was a reply to Leo Tolstoy's Anna Karenina. There it's very black and white. So infidelity is wrong. It should be punished because it goes against religion and against society. And the punishment is very clear. It's death. Chekhov doesn't do that. He doesn't give us black and white characters. The characters are grey. We understand them. They are real people. I also read that Anton Chekhov was a medical doctor, and before he became a writer, he qualified as a doctor, and he suffered from tuberculosis. So when he wrote this story, he would have been able to do a self-diagnosis, and he would have known that the disease was quite advanced and he only had a short time to live. Now, he was in love with an actress, and so he had this secret love affair, and I think this might have been his love letter to this actress. So I don't know, but that's another thing that I've read. It's a beautiful story, and all his stories are really easy to read and you will get something from them. I know that he's known for being a great playwright, but I would also recommend his short stories. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. See you next time.